Now head down to the final race of the day. It is the men's 8.
So here we go. It's the men's 8, the last race of the regatta. And we're going to have a look across the crews. Great Britain in the centre wearing that yellow bib. They're the ones to beat in this one.
Lane 1 is Canada. Lane 2, Germany. Lane 3, Australia. Lane 4, Great Britain. Can they make it the triple in the men's sweep events after taking out the pair and the 4 already today? In lane 5, Netherlands. And lane 6, Romania.
Canada.
Well, as you say, Sarah, great question whether the British will be able to do a triple here of the men's sweep boats.
Britain, the Netherlands, Romania, attention.
And we're away in the last race of the day. The men's 8, the Romanians blast out of the blocks. What a day, what a regatta it has been for the Romanian team. Can the Romanian men's 8 stun here from lane 6, or will it be this crew here from Great Britain?
Well, the British 8 have been very steady in the last year and a half. They seem to have worked out what to do and how to do it, and it's worked for them. They won their heat going directly through here alongside the Australians, and what I can tell you is it was a fantastic repechage yesterday where all of the Netherlands, Germany, Romania and Canada had their bow in front at one stage or another. So it's very close getting those other places into here, so I'm expecting a pretty close one. And really, will the Australians or British be able to get away from what will otherwise be a very, very tight race?
And it's a great start here for Australia, just moving their bow ball ahead of the Romanians, but coming with them are the British just off to the left-hand side. Australia and Britain moving equally as fast at this stage. It's a new lineup for Australia. They've had a slight change with Angus Dawson and Jack O'Brien coming into 6 and 7 after their bronze medal in the pair in Varese, so they've come into the 8.
Well, I know those are athletes you've coached with, you've worked with, you know the strength within this Australian 8, and they're going to try and take it to the British. Those two we would expect to be the favourites here. They're now starting to edge their way into a lead as it is. It's the Australians, the British, pretty much bow ball for bow ball. And the British just trying to settle into that rhythm that's worked with them so well in the past. Tom Ford in that stroke seat. He looks calm, he looks passive, he looks in control.
So as we're 750 metres in, it is Australia and Australia and Great Britain rather out in front. Bow ball for bow ball. In fact, the Aussies maybe just pulling themselves back level with Britain again. The Germans very much rebuilding. The German 8, they're sitting in 5th place. Canada finding the heat a little too much at this stage as they come towards the 1,000-metre mark.
Well, this one's starting to go with that chevron shape, isn't it, like we might expect? And it is pretty much stroke for stroke, the Australians and the British at the head of the field. Perhaps no surprise there. There they go, pretty much together. What a final race we're in for. What a final 1,000 metres of this Lucerne regatta we're in for.
Well, I've been quietly confident about this crew. Certainly their coach, Mark Prater, in this men's 8 has been pretty confident coming into this event. He's pretty happy with the 8, how they've been tracking, how they're rowing. Look at that blade work. Incredible precision. This 8 has been building and building. And here they are at the front of the field with the British. Both of these crews just eking out more of a lead over the Dutch and the Romanians, locked together in lane 5 and 6.
Well, we said it was going to be a big last 1,000 to the regatta, and as it is, it's the Australians who've grabbed the initiative. Their stroke rate is higher than the British, but they're matching it with their boat speed. So you can see the movement out as we look there at the British, and they're seeing the race just slightly getting away from them. Harry Brightmore will find himself down on the stern of that Australian boat, and the Australians will be pleased to see this lead eking out, and they're still moving on the British in this third quarter.
The Australian 8 coxed by Kendall Brodie, the first woman to cox an Australian 8, and I think the first woman to podium in the men's 8. The Aussies now moving out over the British. What an upset this is going to be. Last 500 metres, it's going to come down to the final sprint. The Romanians, the Dutch looking dangerous on this side of the course, but do they have enough time to reel in this British and this Australian crew?
Well, like you say, the Romanians and the Dutch are in a fantastic wrestle for the bronze medal, but it's Australia who grabbed the initiative with 1,000 metres to go. They had a great third 500. They'll be in a tough place, but they'll also know that they are up in front of the British, and it's a long way to come back here. 7 metres, you can see it on the graphic. It's surely too far for the British to come. It will take something quite spectacular to happen. You can see it. It's a third of a boat length now, and the gap is not shortening. If anything, it's widening, and the Australians are moving away. And for me, this is now all coming down to where this bronze medal is going. And it's Romanians who've taken it on.
What an upset here for the Australians. They're now leading by half a length over Britain, but here come the Romanians. They're being egged on by the Dutch. The British now at risk of getting swallowed up here with this race.
Well, the Romanians have used rate throughout this regatta. How about that? 47 strokes a minute, sprinting in the Romanian 8. But you can see the gap. They're trying to reel in the Australians, but the Australians have this under control. Great Britain closing in. Here we come down to the line.
We're coming down to the line. The Australians just with the advantage, but all of the crews bearing down on them. The Aussies are going to get there. Britain in second. Photo finish for the Dutch and the Romanians. I couldn't call it, Greg.
Well, let's see. We've got the Germans and then the Canadians coming across the line. If anything, I didn't mention them. I think it was the Netherlands who are going to have snuck through to get that bronze medal. It was a fantastic race. We thought it could be close. But wow, what about this for Australia? What a statement to come over here to Europe and to come and take out Lucerne Regatta ahead of that all-conquering British 8. You can see the pain on Tom Ford's face. How tough that is. What a race they've been in. James Rudkin behind him. You can see they are not used to coming in and collecting silver medals. Still the thumbs up, the congratulations to the Australians. But well, we're seeing it here. Confirmation of that photo. It is the Netherlands. What a regatta they've had as a country getting through for that bronze medal.
What a comeback, because the Romanians really had them there. I thought that the Dutch were out of it. What a comeback they had. But this Australian crew, I spoke to Mark Prater a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that he thought it was the fastest 8 that he'd put on the water in his time as an Australian coach. So confirmation of that result. You can see the smiles on the faces of the Aussie men. A gold medal in the men's 8.
Well, that Australian 8, fantastic. Mark Prater, a lovely man. Does a great job coaching this Australian 8. And Sarah, it looks like some of these guys must have learned to row well when they were back in the under-23s.
I'm not going to bite on that. But they come across the line. The Aussies just taking it by a canvas over the British. But you could see how close it was there for the Dutch and the Romanians. The Dutch just getting themselves back into it and back on the podium.
Yeah, fantastic from the Dutch. Now I look at it, they were right in there with the Romanians the whole way. It was just the Romanians went up in the rate earlier than the Dutch did, and the Dutch held it and got their bow in front when it mattered for the bronze medal. But wow, what a second 1,000 for this Australian 8. Just a great, great performance. And there's nothing like 8s racing. I guess it's the boat that it's the fastest. It usually draws down the curtain on the regatta. And we've seen it here. A big win for Australia over Great Britain and the Netherlands. Romania right in there. Germany can't quite get back to their best. They've still got a way to come, but they are repairing from where they had been. And then that Canadian 8 will have gathered information, they'll have gathered feedback, which they can work on and figure where best to put their resources as they will come back, I'm sure, strongly for the World Championships, which we will all be back for in Belgrade in Serbia in early mid-September. So we're seeing these lovely shots of the British 8. And they were right there at the 1,000-metre mark alongside the Australians, which I think will really please the Australians as well, that they had the British side by side and then were just able to move in that third quarter. That's, I guess, a real underlining of the quality of the technique, the length and the good rowing that they've delivered.
You saw the pain on the face there of stroke. Angus Widdicombe